Yeah, well, like I said, there's no video. There's no video for you guys. It's just gonna be me and you guys' voice. You know what I mean?
Always
But
stealing show.
always
He's
still it
always
show.
stealing show.
Hello. You know what I mean? Light skin
Hello.
vibes. So, welcome everybody to the DQ Lifestyle Podcast, and today we have Kong Style, Desitron, Desi, and then we have the man, the one and only Green Dog.
Hello.
Hello.
Woof.
Hello.
So yeah, currently Sheffield United are playing Everton. We was winning 2-1. I looked at the goals. Cameron Archer, fresh signing from I don't know if Aston Villa or something, and an own goal from Jordan Pickford. What happened there? Can't wait to see the highlights. But now it's 2-2. They've scored 2 goals. You know what I mean? So I just thought I'd just get the important stuff out of the way. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon Sheffield will steal that one for you.
But I'm hoping we do decent against a shit team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I can get a gauge of where we're at. Because if we're just like losing against the shit one, it's pressure, innit? Like, come on, it's like, where does it end?
Well, to be honest, that's what Man United have always been famous for. Winning all the good things and getting hammered off the crap ones.
Well, to be honest, I think Man City is that way as well, a little bit to a degree. Do you know what I mean?
It's just turning up to a game half-assed, didn't expect them to win. Not giving them 100% credit. I think that's where teams go wrong.
And you lot have got a good. Is it you lot that's got the good youth team, or is it Sheffield Wednesday that's got the good youth team?
United. Youth team's
Innit?
banging.
Absolutely banging, innit?
They just win all the time, do you know what I mean?
A lot of good prospects, but Man City are buying them all up off you guys. You guys are just selling them all up.
So that's another thing as well, yeah. So they never come up to the top team, really, it seems.
No, they get sold before, don't they?
Yeah. So it won't be, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I was saying to Greeny earlier, like, I'm just hoping that, because Greeny was saying about how, you know, the signings weren't all that, which is true. He's right there. But it's like, because we're a shit team, we're known as a losing team, people don't want to come to us. Do you know what I mean? Because why are you going to come to a team to not win games if you're a good player? You know, them ones there. So, like, we're getting like these signings that are young and that hopefully develop them, sell them on for a bit of cash. Do you know what I mean? Gibbs White, Illiman and Die type things. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just hoping that these guys do develop and we possibly do sell them, even if it's like a decent winning team, we're happy with them. Sell them, just get some more cash in so we can start and become like known as a winning team. Get people in, big names. You know what I mean? I've got my Iron Martial. I'll even take Harry Maguire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still want Kyle Walker.
What we need to do is get this podcast famous and let the Sheffield know that I'm in line for the manager job.
Yes.
Job.
There's
at the transfer window this month. I couldn't believe how many good players have gone for free to other clubs. You could actually get an outstanding football team for the players that have gone. Like a couple of years ago, Mitrovic, when he was at Fulham, he was like the leading top goal scorer in the Premier League, and Fulham were bottom of the league. And no one bought him. And I'm thinking, well, this kid's like just scored the most goals in the Premier League for the worst team in the Premier League, and nobody bought him when they got relegated.
That's surprise, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought loads of players would have snapped him up. And now he's just gone to a Saudi Arabia team for free. I mean, Sheffield could have easily took him on and paid his wages. I mean, Rob Holding's just left Arsenal for Crystal Palace for free. Who didn't want to take him on?
Yeah, there's no excuse. But yeah, what I did want to talk about as well, quickly, is I remember something you said last time, Desi.
Yeah.
On like the mental health one, and he was asking. It got to a bit where we was talking about what's it called? How many people die by suicide from failed relationships or from bad relationships, toxic ones. And I got some figures up, yeah. But because I'm recording on the iPhone, I can't access them numbers right now. No, I can try actually. One sec. Let me try and bust it up on the laptop.
I bet the numbers are ridiculously high.
No, so what it was saying something about of all suicides, 20%. This is American numbers. This is American stats though. I'm gonna try and find the UK stats for
You don't really give it that out. Our Queen's ringing in background. Sorry. Answer it, Queen, don't worry.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that America was saying 20% of all suicides are from people that are from failed relationships, separated, marriage and whatnot. And then a lot of those were male.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's see what I can get up now. It's not really coming with our numbers here. Right now I'm on the Office of National Statistics.gov.uk.
It's mad, isn't it?
So it says divorce and risk of suicide. Relationship breakdown can also contribute to suicide risk. The greatest risk is among divorced men, who in 2015 were almost 3 times more likely to end their lives than men who were married or in a civil partnership.
Mad.
Men at much greater risk of suicide. Since 1990, men have been at least 3 times as vulnerable. Need to watch Saying Suicide as well. They won't play the video actually, because they don't say that really now. It's self-delete. Do you know what I mean? They say things like that to get round the algorithm. So I might have to I have to pluck that word out still.
So was it?
What do you mean?
Like you can't
You don't
say
have to say it.
Susie side. Do you know what I mean? I've just thought about
You
that.
can't say it.
No, because it's like because the way social media is, which is a little bit into what you were saying earlier that we possibly could touch on, is people like not following fashion, but people so hearing something and then doing it. So they're not allowing that word because people then seeing it as an option and then doing that thing. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to contribute. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain words that you can't say. You can't say. So what they say now? They say grape. Do you know like the fruit grape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you drop the G, it's a mad thing. So that's what they say when they're talking about the mad one. They say grape.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Or if they're talking about it, they'll blur it and they'll put a picture of grapes up on like TikTok and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because it's... I don't really want to talk too much about grape either. Do you know what I mean?
No, but... No, what it is? This is where it's going to be mad. Like, it's going to be mad, you know, soon. Because it's like you can't say anything anymore.
No.
Like, anything you say can be offensive. It's how you say it.
Yeah.
But saying that by saying a word is sort of in some indication, sort of like saying grape instead of the other. Well, when you say grape, everybody knows what it means.
Yeah.
So you haven't took out the word. You haven't took out necessarily what the meaning of the word. Everyone will just call it that instead of calling it what we call it.
Yeah, like they don't say like.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, innit? It's
Yeah. Well, they're changing the language, aren't they? So it's becoming a word in its own right. Do you know what I mean?
What is?
Like grape, because they're changing the language, because you're not using it. Because every word is just associated with something, innit? Like it don't necessarily mean that thing. Like if I said to you, oh, pass me that shit, you're not going to reach into your kid's diaper and hand me a load. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You're going to pass me that. You're going to pass me them items that are over there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so words are associated with certain things when you understand what we're saying. So they're changing the language. There's another one, like, so they say corn star instead of changing the C to a P. Do you know what I mean?
Is it?
Yeah, like they say corn star.
Yeah, but what? I wonder what are they trying to achieve by that?
I think, no, to be honest, I think most of this has come from TikTok, because TikTok will ban you for anything. Like, so it's, in a sense, TikTok, the way TikTok's put across, like, some people will say that's the most, that's the app that's rotting society the most. But on the other hand, it's got a super strict, so somebody must have commented on one of my videos, yeah? He said, oh, podcasting's not for you, yeah? So I've tried to put that emoji, but every time I put it, it kept going, disappearing, yeah? And I'm thinking, what? Anyway, after like a week or so, maybe in a couple of weeks, I've always got like this red dot that means notification, but I barely check them. Do you know what I mean? Like I click on it and it'll just be like no messages or whatever, this and that. But it was always like a red dot in a different bit. So I finally clicked on it now. And it said like, warning, you tried to send this emoji to this person. like kind of thing. But I did it like bare times, like trying to get thinking, why ain't it going through? Why ain't it going on? And anyway, yeah. So I think they're strict on everything. So instead of sex, they say segs, like SEGGS. Do you know what I mean? So they can get their message across without they're talking about ganja.
Is that because so many young people are on it and,
So,
and
yes.
they're using it?
So in one way, they're protecting them. But I don't know if you know the difference between Western TikTok and Eastern TikTok.
No, but you're going to tell me now.
Of course, yeah.
Hopefully.
Of course, yeah. So obviously, Western TikTok, it's a mad thing. There's just bare mad thing. Like me and Greeny send each other mad stuff all the time on there. It's always mad, yeah. And
What, you've got two different TikToks?
Yeah,
well,
so
I'm confused.
Yeah, so there's TikTok is what we know it as, but it's called something else in China. I forgot what it's called now, but it's them that make it. And then when they brought it, like exported it over to the West, they called it TikTok. I can't remember what they called it over there now. But where we can access this all day or night, kids aren't getting proper night's sleep. So they're going to school like all mash up because they're not having good night's sleep because they're on TikTok scrolling all the way through. TikTok's supposed to have shortened our attention span from 12 seconds to 8 seconds this year, in the past like year or so.
I've heard that.
Because of the constant, because you can just get like a quick fix and then bounce, quick fix and bounce, quick fix and bounce. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you keep getting like these little dopamine hits you don't even know you're getting because that's the reason you keep scrolling. Do you know what I mean?
You know, that's the one thing about TikTok, yeah. Like, all social medias after a while get weird. But I find like TikTok, it's mashing up your real estate in your brain because you're seeing so many different little things, clips. By the time you turn back around, an hour's gone, and you've just been on TikTok flicking through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what it is...
You know what's mad though? Like, they're not letting you spell these proper words on TikTok, but they'll happily show you a video of a man trying to have a shit from one cubicle to another. You know what I mean? Stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's mental.
It's mad.
Like, they won't let you spell a word properly because it's offensive, but they'll happily show a homeless man having a shit up against a lamppost.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there then?
Yeah. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that visually is where we process it better. We process things visually better, or if we hear it or see it, touch it, taste it, rather than like you say, a word. Like, how many people really click comments? I probably is loads, to be fair, but I know a lot of people just skim through that. They won't click comments and start reading through everybody's comment and finding out.
Yeah, no.
But I guess, like I say, it's another way to protect. But at the same time, there is an emoji for doo-doo, innit? Yeah, right? So if you want to eliminate, if you like that, what you said, yeah, and they said you can't. If they want to eliminate that, why don't they just take that emoji out? Like, you can't use that emoji. You know what I mean?
I think, what they should do with TikTok is like have a two separate things. So if you're gonna have kids on TikTok, have a date of birth thing. So if you're 18 and above, you can see the other stuff and like the more adult and various stuff. And if you're not 18 and above, it'll just show you little cartoon, funny clips or whatever it is.
It's funny you say that. So I think it's called Douyin in China. So what they do there, from the hours of 10, I think it's 10 a.m. till 6 p.m, that's the only time TikTok can be accessed. You can't access it no other way. And the things that are on there are scientific achievements, athletic achievements, and just like general achievements. It's not big booty bitches twerking up the place. It's not a man catching a heavy punch unexpectedly. It's not mad like people walking up to people in the street saying, yo, do you want to die? And then him shitting his pants and then him just pulling out some hair dye. It's not people walking into people's houses when they left the door open and sat down like that Mizzy or whatever, bless him. Like, it's no mad. It's not things that are like people are copying on their own TikTok to like get views and stuff that are making society worse in a sense. You know what I mean? It's all things that are like getting into and they only can access it, I think, for 45 minutes a day. So where you choose to use your 45 minutes is where you choose to use your 45 minutes. But then when you do access it, you're only seeing positive things. You're not seeing mad stuff, mad OnlyFans girl doing mad content to get you onto their OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
No, But that's the maddest thing. I've seen a thing. I forgot it was in some other guy's podcast, and this gal's going off the front room, and she's going off. She's like, "I get," but the way she's saying it is mad. Like she's like, "I get paid, done." You might have seen it. I get paid, done. I get that. Was it? I get paid when I'm sleeping. Do you get paid when you're sleeping? And my man calmly, like just calmly goes, sorry, 1 second.
Where you going, you? You head we not work, yeah.
Sorry, they've gone out. Up the limo. All right.
Some kids wanting to play that, sick. I didn't think that existed.
Yeah, do you know?
I thought that was done.
Sorry. So anyway, my man Anthony is like, listen, I've got all these things you talk. The reason I'm not getting triggered to what you're saying is because I'm doing all these things. But like, you're on OnlyFans, and basically your kids are gonna have to grow up. And once your kids grow up, people are gonna be like, yeah, you've got that but you've got that money because your mum sold herself.
I've seen something
in a
like
sort
that.
of you know what I mean? And he started going in a little bit deep, and you could the camera then swings back to her, and you can just see her face on the camera. And I think the problem is now, when you go on social media, you're seeing Lambos and watches and beautiful apartments and luxurious stuff. So everybody now is sort of, they don't really think about, I just want to be happy. They more think about, I want to go, like, how many people, I mean, I've been the one to do it myself. I don't do it as much anymore. When I first came home, it caught me with a bug. You come home, before you eat your food, you take a picture of it and post it.
Yeah.
That is, no, but you know when we were young, imagine when we were kids, imagine our parents or someone bring us to a restaurant and they say, whoa, before you eat that 1 minute, smile on every picture. Because that's what it, because now people are going to restaurants and places, not because they want to go or not because it's what they want to eat. They'd be happy to go get, we've got a lovely local thing called Centros. Yeah. They'd be lovely to go and get a Centro, but instead they're in Liverpool or Leeds in some big posh restaurant spending money that they don't necessarily have for that picture. Yeah. Just so they can take that picture.
Yeah.
Post it. This is how we're living.
Yeah. All for the status. Do you know what I mean?
It's mental.
This is where I am in life.
Mo Stack said in one of his songs that he bought like a $4,500 outfit, but if he takes this photo of him wearing it, he can't wear the outfit again. You know, just things like that. Like he's just posing it, like, you know, but he was like, you know, if people like go to these expensive places just to take a photo of the meal and show the world this is how I'm living. But like Dessie said, they don't really want to eat that. They'd rather have a steak or just a steak pasty from Greg's. But you know, they want to keep this like, you know, they want to look positive and, you know, glamorous in front of the camera. And Mo Stack said exactly the same thing in his song. I really like this $4,000 Gucci tracksuit, but if I take this picture, I can't wear it again. Because the world will be like, whoa, he's worn that twice now.
Mental.
Yeah.
Mental.
Barmy.
It is. It's the social media world. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I do quite well through my Instagram, towards my business, getting myself out there. Facebook a little bit, and you know, I'm not. I haven't mastered in no way or form the sort of social media realm like normal people do, but like a lot of people do. And I'm finding out that it's to the younger generation. The one thing that I think social media has done good, because I don't want to throw a bit of shade on social media. The positive side to social media is that if you are a council child from Huddersfield, and you live, I don't know, in, for instance, Walpole or like a council estate area, you can see that there's more to life than what you see when you walk out your door. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that, because people have leveled up left, right, and centre. Like I was saying on a pod one time about certain gal, you could tell if it was like from, like if it was a Rotherham gal or a Sheffield gal or a Manny gal, because they all had similar styles and different. Now they're all looking they're all looking bad. Across the board, like it don't matter where. Even like the man them. I'm not saying the man them looking bad, so let's not go there. Yeah. What I'm saying is the man them. Like you could tell before this man's from there because they all had their own individual pocketed style from their own area. But because of once again social media, it's leveled them up so everyone's on a similar wave. But then again, on a negative thing, that's why the road thing spreading hardcore in places where it wouldn't reach because there's not them type of people there, and then they're picking up the drill mad vibes and tearing people down.
I see the thing on a rap, right, and this is just unheard of stuff, right. I seen one guy rapping on. I won't highlight the song or the guy in it because I ain't got time for none of that malarkey. But the guy basically, I don't know who he's from, London or Brum or something. No, he's from London, and he starts spilling out like raw names. Like, for instance, say the track went like this, so like Michael got stabbed behind the bin, Jordan got stabbed in the like. He just goes through all the names and the specifics of what his ops are to do. And I thought, in our age group, it was like your Dizzy Rascals and your crazy pictures and that. And it was like, even then, they weren't saying too much of man's name. They were just saying what. Now, this drill thing, it's like, it's not cool to have money anymore. Like, the baddest guy on the street is the one that stabbed the person the most. But I remember in our day, like, stabbing, if you stabbed someone, you was a punk. You was no, to a certain degree. You know, when you're a kid, I'm not talking about once we got to like 16 and that, it started getting techie in it because there was other weapons and stuff about. So it was people had their knives and stuff. That's different. I'm talking about you can meet a random 9, 10, 12-year-old kid and he'll have a knife. Like, and he's never had a fight in his life. He's never had a fist fight. Do you know what I mean? It's different from like I feel like there was some graduation when we were younger. Like you used to be able to, you had to be able to have a little fight, and then you might walk around with your nunchucks or your knife or a little bat. You know, like them little rounders bats. You know what I mean? Or or a knuckle duster. And obviously, as time goes on, and the more you get involved, and the higher risk you get, you're involved in. The more weaponry you seem to get, like tasers or something. But and more time, there would have been 10 men with tasers, never used them. Never bumped into Roy or the ops and never used them. And if you did, you didn't have that when you did. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, like you moved up in time, and like I say, our generation, knifing did. I know knifing's been a part of life all the way through, but I mean, you had to be able to have a do. I feel like none of these kids now have do that. Like they can't have. Like it's like they automatically scared of beef, beats. It's like the more the government say don't discipline your child and give him licks, the more the parents don't give him the licks. The kids' parents are. My mum and dad. She's in the background there, but she grew up, she got licked. Right? If you acted a certain way, you want polite, you want this, you want that, you got licks, right? In West Indies, right? So she's come home. So I always say that even though I am English and I've been born in English, both my parents was from the West Indies. So in the house, it was a West Indian sort of upbringing. But if you, and then I've got obviously older, right? And I've sort of brought that into my household now with my kids. But the common denominator of me and my brother growing up and my two sons now are, people will say they're well polite children.
Yeah.
Well, that is because not being polite was an unacceptable thing in the household. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't be rude. That like, the adults could be talking downstairs and I come downstairs to my mum and say, "Mum, get me a drink." I'd have got stomach, but I wouldn't have got a drink. Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth of it. And I think now, because parents are scared to discipline the children because of obviously, don't get me wrong, there is loads of kids that are getting like proper battered and stuff, and that is unacceptable. But the discipline has gone, mate. It is absolutely gone. And now, when I was growing up, you'd hear a kid and he'd be like, and he could take beats or he could have a fight with him, and he'd be like, "I'm not scared to have a fight because my dad hits me." Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You'd be like, yo, that guy. But now it's like you can't discipline your children. So what have you got? Because you can't reason with children because they're children. There's no like they don't understand what reasoning means, what the term of them being reasonable means. They're children. So you've got to sort of, in a sense, be a little bit black and white sometimes when growing up kids. This is what I believe, by the way. Right? And, you know, the child's going to be whatever the child's going to be. That's just life. Surroundings, the rest of it, you can only do the best of your ability. The rest is in God's hands. But there's got to be, before there is respect, there's got to be a fear factor. I'm not going to do that because if I do that, my mum or my dad are going to kill me.
Yeah.
There's got to be that. And then as you get older, and obviously it gets to the point where your mum and dad can't beat you, or, well, they'll always be able to beat you in some parents' eyes. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, innit? Like, as soon by the time you get to the age where you think you can't be disciplined by your parents, the respect of it is already in. So you don't have that sort of, like, telling your parents to F off and that. That's mental. I've seen 9-year-olds swearing at their parents, like, they say something to the parent and they'll be like, pardon my French queen, and they'll be like, fuck off. And you're like, what? How's your 9-year-old sticky tools up at you? You're the parent. And then the parent will turn around and go, oh, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where the society is going wrong. I don't necessarily think it's too much of, I do think that drill music but then again, you know, go back years and years and years, do you know what I mean? And music was still mental for that time. There was still violent music, you know what I mean? There was
I think it's important how they look at it though. Like, I don't see like drill music and stuff. Like, I love a bit of grime and drill, but I don't listen to it like, oh, I want to be like him. I want to listen to his story and struggle more than anything, rather than glamorize it. And I think some kids do it wrong. Like, it's happening up here now in Carlisle. I'm watching these kids going around the streets with balaclavas on and them electric fucking scooters. You know, like, and honestly, it's pissing me off because it's like they're inheriting a Jamaican thing, you know, like, and trying to be like that through the music that they listen to. But whereas when I listen to the music, I'm actually listening to the guy and his struggle. I don't want to be like him. I like his story. I like what he's telling me because in reality, he's trying to tell you, this is what I have to do. So don't do this because this is where I went wrong. And then people are like, oh, man, he's cool as fuck. He stabbed the kid. I bet he stabbed their man. Well, he's telling you about that to not go do it. When people are looking at it,
we put filters up, don't we? Yeah, we filter through
like
what we hear, what we want to hear. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and
so I use that kind of music as like a lesson, like listen to it and you know, take it on board, sort of thing. But yeah, as like Dessie said, with kids and discipline as well, it's a hard thing because you know some parents bribe the kids into behaving, which is a bad thing because you're going to teach them to be spoiled when they grow up because they're not going to behave for you unless they get what they want.
They're just going to smash up their room.
Well,
I have never in my life ever took anything that I have bought or someone has bought me and smashed it. Never.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't have. And I'm not. This ain't putting people down that do it, and this is just my own thing. I'm talking about me, so I know everyone's different. I have never thought that I might have punched the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of anger, but it was either the door or the person. So in that retrospect, the door is the better choice, in my opinion. Right? But I know as a kid, if I got this and then I never got one, but let's just say, because it wasn't them times, but let's say it's these times now and I get a laptop and the laptop's not working right. I would be out of my mind to think that I could jump up and down on that and break it and then I'm going to get a new one. Do you know what I mean?
Hell no.
And that is what happens now. Like, do you know what it is? I say it to my boys all the time. I try and steal it in them because I never got it. I never had it really in me. I've learned it. Your emotions manage your emotions. I think if every human being ends up managing their emotions, then half the time, half the problems don't become problems. Because the real society don't really care if my man stared at you and you didn't stare at him back.
Yeah.
There is an alpha male. Like, I don't want no trouble. I do believe in alpha males. I do believe if you're the man, little things like you should look after your missus, you know, protect your missus. These are things that this is my thing. I just believe in. Like, try to not necessarily financially have to be the main provider for the household, but be a provider for the household. So help at least and have a plan to sort of get the household to sort of a platform or a level. I believe that's what men's, as a man, you should do. Do you know what I mean? Look after your whole family, though. Not just like, not obviously not your whole family. Don't start talking about 19th cousin down the road who's flipping. I was having this conversation with my mum just a bit ago.
We'd be broke.
You know what I mean? Not my cousins, daughters, sisters, brothers, cousins, and his son. No, not him. But like your immediate, your mum, you know what I mean? Your dad should be a man, so he should be doing mad things. But the females in the family that are co-parenting, you should have somewhat appliance to try and build as a family and get yourself out of the situation you're in and to a better situation. And if you did that each year, then eventually you would have generational wealth, I believe, yeah? But the problem what you have is people's got so much emotions. So if I come out with a good idea, but I'm the little brother or I'm the little nephew, right, and I go to everyone and I say, yes, I've got this great idea here, people will be like, oh, yeah, I do that, but Des has come up with it now. Des is in charge. No, that might get us out of there, out of this rot. Let's just, but because no one else has got anything else that we're coming to table with. Do you know what I mean? But instead, people's emotions get involved way, and mine used to as well. But people get way more like they don't look at the situation for what it is. It's like if I see someone I don't like and they're doing well, I admit that they're doing well. It doesn't pay me to go, you know what, my man's doing well. Some man will be like, you'll say, yo, my man's doing well to your friends, yeah? Mama, and you've got that bedroom that'll go, nah, my man's not doing well, but you see my man's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because you don't like him. Not because, and that happens within families. And that's the problem, because what's happening now is families are separating and going their own way. You know, and it a little bit goes back to this discipline as well, because as a family, you're not disciplined to manage your emotions. If Troy, for instance, no, I won't say Troy because I've got a cousin called Troy. If Lucy came and said to me, I don't know, Shaniqua, right, has just said this, and this about you, right? My protocol shouldn't really be now to start cussing Shaniqua. My protocol should be to Lucy, well, what did you say when she said that? Do you understand what I mean? And have accountability. But what happens in family and in friends, in socials, in life, really, is you've always got that person that'll go, say I'm talking about Greeny, yeah? I'll go, yo, listen, Marcus, don't say out, yeah? But I swear Greeny, yeah, was texting your girl, you know. But listen, don't say out, though. But I swear she was. Well, what that does is now is you'll have resentment to Greeny, and Greeny won't even know. So Greeny will be treating you in a way, thinking everything's great, but it's not great. Then you and Greeny will start talking, and Greeny will say, you know, Desmond, he's a starer, you know. He opens a bit. Don't say that to Desmond, though. No one gets held accountable for what they say. So the gossip keeps on going because no one gets held accountable. The minute you say something, no one gets held accountable. Oh, why did you say that? I'll tell you why I said that. I said that because of this, this, and this. But no one gets held accountable. And that's just in life. So now in life, you've got people on the internet, they can write something under your page. I'm not dissing your boy, but like your boy, yeah, say, yo, you're not good at that. And that's a joke. But let's say you meant that really, or let's say you was a bit insecure. Let's say, yeah, you might take that and then stop doing what you're doing. but that might have been your calling, though. That might have been what you was meant to do. Do you get what I mean? It's no one gets held accountable anymore. That's the only thing that madman, what's his name now? Matrix guy, man. What's his name?
Morpheus.
I brought him up on the last one.
Keanu Reeves.
No, the
Tate.
guy Tate. That's the only thing. What Tate is dead set right on. No one's got accountability. That means now I can, you know what I mean? I can say something to you, Marcus, and I don't care because you're going to keep it to yourself. So I can talk the most rubbish about Reese, yeah? Because that don't matter. Because you're, and then if you tell Reese, right, you're the bad one. You're now the stirrer. But guess what? I should be accountable for what I said or how I acted, though. If I'm not acting right, I should be accountable for how and I should have a reason for my actions. I don't understand when people say, and my mum always said this to me, she said, your problem is, and she's damn right, she's right because she made me, she know me for big. But my problem is if you don't think like me, I don't understand it. Everything I do, there's a reason I did it. So if you do something and you tell me I don't know, I can't process that. That's like, you must know why you did that. Do you know what I mean? If I take a bottle of pop and I put it from here to that table, there's got to be a reason why I moved that. And the more time it'll be because it was in my way. But some people will do something, they'll move this bottle to there, and then I'll say, well, why did you do that? I don't know. Nah, that don't make sense. Do you know what I mean? That's a little pet hit of mine there, boys. I'll just throw that out there. But yeah, for the people that are viewing and stuff like that, just hypothetically speaking about the bottle moving. But yeah, I just think people should be held accountable for their actions, because a long time ago, people was we didn't have internet, and every neighbour knew every neighbour, and every kid knew every kid, and every parent. You was held accountable. If you was out on that field and you swore at somebody's parent, that parent would then get you and bring you to the house, and the parent was held accountable for what the child just did. So then the parents was more stronger on the children because they was held accountable. You couldn't get away with, he's just a kid, innit?
Yeah.
But now, you let your kids out now, and you'll see some parents be like, oh, yeah, he called him a black twat, but he's just a kid, innit? He didn't know what it means. Do you know what I mean?
He learned it from somewhere, though, didn't he?
He definitely learned it from in that household when some black guy was on the TV screen.
Yeah, so check this then. Check this, what I've... I don't know, I was watching some shit on YouTube, and then someone popped up on my thing, and I watched it, and it turns out that a single dad, a child raised by a mum and a dad, or two parents, has the same... No, a child raised by their dad has the same... how can I say? Will be just as... raised just as good as having both parents compared to being a single mum. To be raised by a single mum, the stats say, these are American stats, to be raised by a single mum, these children end up on drugs. They've got more chance of being a rapist, more chance of being in prison, more chance of being involved in gangs, more chance of being violent in relationships, having failed relationships. But a single dad gives a child as much of a good chance as them being raised with a mum and a dad. And it's possibly, I think personally, because I know two people, I did a pod on this myself. So when it popped up, I thought, wow, that was off my own, that's just off my own, what I'd noticed. So I know two dads, yeah, and the way that one of them has seen raise his kid, like he spoke to his fucking 6-year-old like it was a man. Because he's a single dad. He raises it can't be with the mum, do you know what I mean? The mum's, you get me? And I spoke to him and I thought, the mum's, do you know what I mean? And I thought, But then what the other guy did, I haven't seen him parent, but what he says to his kid and these interactions, the man's a bit here and there sometimes, but the stuff he says about his kid, I thought, whoa, that's kind of like, that's what made me do that pod, like single dads versus single mums. Because the single mums, but what they were trying to say is, I think it's because of the accountability thing. Do you know what I mean? You're teaching the child to be accountable, and mums are more likely to lie to their children to get a better result, because they don't want the child to be in their feelings. start crying, this and that. They can't manage that emotional turmoil in the child. Whereas the dad will say, unfortunately, this has happened, and they'll be quite blunt, but they'll deliver it in a decent way, but you're still dealing with it as like a man, even if that child's a girl. So they're teaching that child the world's not all rainbows and sun gumdrops or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world's real, and they learn earlier to be able to process this information over being told, you know, oh, I've had to give the dog to someone else. The dog has been run over. The dog's gone. But they said, oh, giving dog to dog farm. Do you know what I mean? Had to, do you know what I mean? Kind of thing, where they'll be like, oh, listen, this happened to dog's child. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Kind of thing. So, yeah, so just from what you were saying there, I just thought I'd say that, because a lot of the stuff that we are talking about, where society's going wrong, unfortunately, the stats are saying, you know, and I can only imagine when that kid was sticking rods up, all was the kids sticking rods up too? Can you answer that for me?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it, do you know what I mean? Which parent was it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
And that's my point,
exactly.
do you know what I mean? But we don't see too many dads, do you know what I mean? Single dads to have like a proper, obviously they've done their data, how they've done their data and whatever. I'm pointing to my laptop screen, well, my TV screen, like, but there's nothing on it.
It always makes sense, because, like, look at when you were young. I mean, I've had a stepdad since I was a kid. My biological dad was never there, but if ever I got beat up or anything like that in school, I didn't want to tell my mum, because then she'd get all upset and wrap her arms around me, and, you know, now she's threatening to go to school, kick the other boy's head in, or what mother's head in, or whatever. Whereas your dad would be like, yeah, it's all right, it's only a bust nose, you know, you live to fight another day, it's not the end of the earth, put a bit of ice on it and go and punch him back in the face or whatever. Whereas your mother kind of would mother you a bit too much. You know,
emotionally,
yeah, it's emotions. You'd be in your bedroom with a bust nose, she's fetching up ice cream, packets of crisps, a drink every 5-10 minutes. Whereas your dad's like, well, go back out, play with your friends. If you see him again, you know, punch him in the face and, you know, whatever. Do what you got to do to defend yourself. I don't want you sitting in the house crying about it. You know, go and get on with your life, sort of thing. And yeah, it makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? I mean,
that's why.
Women, yeah.
God, sorry.
I'll say opposite. Women have obviously got advantages in some ways over men. But yeah, I think men have also got advantages in other ways over women. Definitely.
Just to carry on a little bit from there as well, Reese, quickly. Yeah. It's not fully on what you're saying, but just to speak about little girls as well. So something was brought to my attention about how males have got it hard from being young. Yeah, which I didn't really think much of it. I thought, do they? Kids are kids at the end of the day. But what this YouTuber was saying, she was saying, you know, a girl could do something, or the daughter could do something, and the son could do like the exact same thing, but the son would be more likely to catch a beating because he's a boy, and boys can handle it more. They're seen as more robust. The boy, but that's just a little princess, little girl kind of thing. The boy may also get shouted at more. He might have more responsibility. So from a kid, boys are mistreated in comparison to their female counterparts, mistreated earlier, which I've never thought about before. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just quickly pause you there? Because you just reminded me of something from school. I won't mention any names, but, you know, I remember in my secondary school, a girl had a fight with somebody. I don't know what it was over or how it started or what happened, but I remember a mother clubbing her brother around the head, like, you know, where the fuck was you when this was happening?
That's what I'm saying. It's just, it's a bias that we all have.
What you're saying.
A father or a mother would hit the boy more than the daughter.
Yeah.
Even though they're both same age, they both haven't got the estrogen or testosterone yet at the moment, so they're both kind of similar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why you got that's why you've got the whole, like, how many men do you come out talking about my wife batters me?
Not many, but I bet it does happen.
It definitely happened.
Yeah.
Or emotionally got him, where it's like, you don't be with me, then you're not seeing your kids.
Oh yeah.
You don't buy me that, then you're not getting your kids.
Yeah.
And you know what, as well, something that I have over the years as I've got older now, I've figured out, when I speak to a lot of people that I know, their girlfriends might have a less sex drive than the male. So it will be like he has to do something. How many times have you heard the guy go, "Oh, I bought this chair. You know, hopefully I make good books and I can get some tonight."
Yeah.
But if that was the other way around, per se, that would be now that the male is manipulating the female to get whatever do you know what I mean? So the flip side of that is when a woman says, you're not getting whatever, and she don't want to do it, that's fair, that's her choice. But when you only do it when you are getting money, or you're only doing it when I'm treating, is that not another form of manipulation? And I think that's where I think the world is at the end of the day now, men and women are two different kettles of fish. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Yes, there is some women that can do what men do. There's some single parents that are absolutely ace on both spectrums, but we're talking about the common denominator, the common sort
generally
of outlook, of it is that we're very different, and we all have got roles to play. Another thing, funny enough, I should think, and this even happens a little bit in my household. Women take out the bin more than men. No, listen.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Honestly,
sometimes
if you think about it, go speak to like a couple of your friends when you get a chance and ask him, right, in the household, who takes out the bin?
Do you mean put the wheelie bin on the curb?
Like, who rolls the wheelie bin out onto the curb after, like, not actually you could do both, really. Even taking the bin out of the kitchen and putting it into the big bin, that might be a bit different. But rolling the wheelie bin out onto the curb more time, a woman does that. And I don't know, that's probably two reasons. But in my household, it's because one, I've got a forgetful brain. Yeah, right. And the bin men would just drive past, and my bin wouldn't even. I'd be like, "Oh, damn, I ain't put the bin out." It's more to do with that than the physical side. But I think majority in households, women take the bin out more than men. That's mad, that, isn't it? When you think about it, or is it mad? But yeah, I think it's mad. You know why? Because you think that taking out the bin is a manly thing to do.
I'm gonna ask about that. That's something that I've never really thought of still.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I've forgot to take the bin out plenty of times, but I'd say I'd still do it just a little bit more than you do. By the look of Caitlin's face, she's disagreeing.
Yeah. I think it's because of their memory. They've got we've probably both got a lot of things to think about, so it would be good to say that they have got a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, and it's part of like keeping the house running as well. So because they run a tight ship, like it's like we need to get this shit out of the kitchen into that bin, and he's gonna bin down there so I can get this shit out of the kitchen again. Do you know what I mean? Or it's just the mud. You know what I mean? So
but I do say vice versa. I feel like I probably cook more than Ashley. Do you know what I mean? In my eyes. Yeah. So I just think instead of it, I think as years have gone on, it was always like the man goes out, and I know this is squeezing topic a bit, but it was always like the man goes out and he gets the money, breadwinner, and the woman cleans up and sorts out the house. But I think as time's gone on, it's not necessarily really about that. What it is just about being a good partner. So if I cook, automatically I don't need to look at you. You're going to do the dishes because I've cooked. You want to do the dishes because you know that I've cooked. Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she puts the bin out, I see the bin's full. Let me put the plastic back in the bin. Let me re-put the bin bag in. Do you know, it's about working sort of together. And I think that's where the concept is missing when they say your household, the men do the men thing, the woman does the woman thing. I think it runs better because everybody's different if everybody pulls together and rows in it. Because when one person's not rowing, that boat gets heavier.
Yeah.
And that's the true image. But now you've got, and I mean, I ain't got a daughter, me, so I'm happy. But I've got a couple of nieces, but they know because there's expects them to act right at all purposes and times. But you know what I mean? These girls now, what they're hearing Cardi B say, I had to park that big truck right up in my garage. You know what I mean? Right? I'm not dissing Cardi B because the music's sick, but where's your Beyonces and that, and your Mary J. Bliges and that, and you respect like women that aren't talking about getting walked out, women that are talking about falling in love. Where is that? I don't know because I don't listen to. I feel like every time I go to want to listen to music now and it's R&B, I just go and put in R&B from the 90s and that or 2000s because I don't feel like the last 10 years there's been any substantial R&B artist that I could say that's come out that I can say yeah. Do you know what I mean? Obviously the kids will probably know some, but where is that? Where is the?
It's long gone. I mean,
do you know what I mean? So
now, like you say, I see school kids walking to school all the time when I'm down to work, and they're just like trying to present themselves to look 21-year-old and stuff.
Mental, innit?
Walking around the streets in like this clothing that's pretty much not even attached to their body. And then like I sit there to myself thinking, I am not looking forward to having a daughter. Like, honestly, I'm gonna have to do that bad boy routine when the boy comes to the house to take her to the prom.
Yeah. Or Den of Thieves, man. Have you seen Den of Thieves?
Yeah,
where
50 Cent when he grabs him in that room.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't see boys like I've when I was in school. I've took flowers to girls and that, embarrassed to death. Thinking I like her. I've got £5 pocket money this week. I'm going to go and buy some flowers and chocolates.
You were going hard.
This girl in school.
Now they don't go out with each other.
Yeah. Now we don't know.
No.
But yeah,
no.
like it's one of them things, isn't it? Like it's you're risking embarrassment here in front of 300-400 kids in the schoolyard for a leap of faith. And
they're not doing.
Just a quick thing on the daughters thing. It's been said that daughters look after the parents later in life. Sons just do their own thing. So you need that help. You're old now. Yeah. You need groceries. You need batty wiping.
That's the truth.
Daughters look after the parents. So keep going until you get a daughter.
I mean,
your son's gonna leave you. Yeah, I mean.
No, listen. I agree with that to a degree because obviously once they get their own family, I want my sons to be able to look after their family. But my thing is this: at the stage of time now, if they get to an age and they're looking after their family, and I need to be looked after, I'd rather let me go, man. Let me go now. If I get to the stage in life where I have to be looked after, like proper looked after, though. You know what I mean? I just feel like, what life is that? Let me go in it.
What do you want? One to the brain, yeah?
Just let God come and get me in it.
Double tap.
Obviously,
the things in the garden buried. Double tap.
Permanent mark on his forehead. Just put on his forehead, DNR, do not resuscitate.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
You know why? Do you know why I say that, yeah? Because, right, the reason why I say that, though, is because I feel like if the minute any human can't then look after themselves, and I'm not talking about look after themselves in a way of like, if you got a wheelchair, you can't stand up, that's different. The minute that I can't physically, mentally, I'm not living anymore.
The day that you're not you, you're not.
Yeah.
Then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, then it's time for me. Then it's time for me to go in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I think that's the one thing that us as humans, unfortunately, don't come to terms with quick as we should. That everyone has to pass away. So even though it's a very sad time when people pass away, if you do, this is where faith, I think, has a very strong hold still. Because you don't have to see it as they've left you. They've just moved on to the next stage.
And you'll see them when you get there. Coolio style.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you see them anyway. In my opinion, obviously some people don't believe in that stuff, but you see them anyway. They're with you anyway in little ways, in little things. Something your son might do, your daughter might do, your cousin might do certain. You might get a blessing, like, how did that happen to me? This a line of this, and I think that's all blessings from people that love you up there. Me, I do, man. You know what I mean?
Back to your question before, Marcus. Yeah, it would be lovely to have a daughter that brings me a cup of tea, when she's 18, 19. But you got to understand that I would die of a heart attack because all these girls care about now is learning how to twerk while standing on the fucking heads. If I ever seen anything like that of my daughter on social media, I would drop down dead on the spot, mate. Like, that's the thing that's terrifying about having daughters.
No, I think the mad thing about having daughters is that the boys now are like, we don't go out.
Yeah.
Like, when you speak to a 15, 16-year-old boy now, they don't do the going out thing. Going out is not a thing. I don't know what it is now, but it's not going out.
Yeah, do you know something? I remember when I was young, and obviously, used to have obviously been the same, but when I was a kid, I obviously thought I want to be with the one girl for the rest of my life. But then as I got older, I kind of thought I'd like to nail the alphabet before I get settled down with one girl. Do you know what I mean?
Man said nail down,
Yeah, but like I don't want to be sitting there. I don't want to sit there thinking that every guy that my daughter brings home is one of them little fuckers that's just trying to nail another number out of the alphabet before finding, his soulmate. So yeah, I mean that wouldn't do too good for my head, me.
No, the Lord knew that from me. The Lord knew my blood pressure would go too high, man.
Do you know something? I think, it's the day I get announced that I'm going to be a dad to a daughter, I think I'm never going to leave the gym. I'm just going to be like an absolute wham boss. And when he walks through the door,
thing is,
turn around just as quick as he came in.
Do you know the thing is though, what they say is, you know how mums are with boys, dads are with girls. So even though all that, as long as your daughter's smart enough to wrap it around like, nah, that's not me, dad. Like, that could never be my daughter. Do you know what I mean? And it takes a long while before you find out. Do you think I'm not being horrible to you girls that like give it out a bit. So just throwing that out there on the internet. It's your business. But do you think that the dads know that the daughters are getting whooped out, man? They don't. By 5 man, 6 man. You know what I mean? I've got 4 boyfriends. You know what I mean? They don't know that, man. It's still Lucy, my lovely little girl, innit?
Well, as long as she's a fucking secret agent when it comes to that, and I never find out, I think I can die a happy man.
Yeah.
But if she's very loose with it, and it's she's at house parties and checking her ass to fucking Nicki Minaj in a room full of boys, and I get glimpses of it on social media, Jesus, I think I'll be just. The attic will be her bedroom, and she'll have to be Rapunzel, never get out the fucking thing ever again. Like, literally.
Yeah, girls are getting like that though, because that's all what the dance moves are now. They are the whole twerk, bend over, shake it.
All they care about, it's all they care about. All they want is lit filler, fake asses, fake tits. Want to know how to shake their ass, and fucking some of them even in McDonald's deep throating fucking bananas just for fucking the fun of social media.
So here's the thing, So here's the thing. Would you rather have grown up in this life now with all social media that you've got, knowing that you could take the opportunity and become someone, or would you have rather grown up back when you did with no social media and knocking on doors like you just said someone did there for my son, and knocking on doors and calling for your friends? Which one do you think, sorry, this is the question. Which one do you think that life, which one do you think would have financially been better for you?
Wow.
It's a bombshell for you, man, there, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong,
hello.
I loved my childhood. Like, I actually enjoyed being on the backfield for 9 hours with a football and 16 men playing like 5-a-side, 11-a-side, and knock and nash when I was a kid. I can't beat that. Yeah, I love my
financially,
yeah. I mean, you could probably gain a lot more in this modern day and age financially, but there's a downfall as well. Like you said before, there's a good chance your mum could be on fucking OnlyFans.
Yeah, true.
Say if you're 8 years old this day and age, and by the time you're 18 years old, signing up to some sexual sites, and you're like, hang on,
what would you?
Like my mum.
So what would you prefer then?
Do you know?
What? So do you mean like being 36 back then, or 36 now?
No, so I'm saying 36 now. So I'm saying 18 back then, or 21 back then, and 21 now. Which one would you prefer? Like, and let me go a bit more into it. So meaning like when we was like, let's just give a round part number from 16 to 21, yeah. We used to you still have to come out to check your bedroom. You know what I mean? You still have to. You probably was their phones about and that. You know what I mean? So we'll go a little bit younger than that, but you still go knock for your bedrooms. You still only see what you could see visually.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? But now a 16-year-old kid knows about an house, knows about how to do a mortgage, knows about credit score. I didn't find out those credit score. Like, when did you man find out about credit score? Be honest.
More when I came out of prison. When I came out of prison, more when I came out of prison.
Yeah,
Right
mine was like a couple years before I got out, because obviously my plans and what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? So I had to have a good credit score. Do you know what I mean? So late in life, I know what you're saying. Late in life, I was about 32,
so late in life for both
31.
Yeah, a late in life for me too. I could go now and pull a random 16-year-old kid off the street now, and he could tell you about credit score.
Yeah, everything they've seen on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. See, I used to think, right, if, like, obviously, not long ago, this has just happened, like, someone's saved up a lot of money, went for a deposit on a mortgage, and they were like, sorry, you can't have one. He's like, but I've never been in debt in my life. And they were like, that's why. Because you haven't proven to us that you can get out of debt. You can't pay monthly direct debits, so we can't give you a mortgage. And they're actually recommending you go get a car on finance, or go take out a credit card, pay
get a contract for
a mortgage. Mental.
Prove to me that you can pay your bills substantially for but that's my point. We know, and that's where the social media and smartness and like, how many people do you find on social media now that'll be like, yo, you can get your own business, you can do it, you can do that. And they're showing it. The good stuff is out there. It's depending on if you're looking at it. It depends on if you're looking for it. But I probably would rather be a 16-year-old kid now, me, in a sense of, I feel like if I had I know this is far-fetched, but I feel like if I had the capabilities and the resources that these kids have now, I would have been a business owner a lot more quicker than I am now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit of monkey see, monkey do, and until you see someone do something, sometimes it inevitably looks like it can't be done because you don't know no one that's done it, so it looks like a long shot.
But what you keep remembering, though, is it's never too late either.
Oh, no, of course. It is like now. And, obviously I've got my business is doing well, but
it's never too late, man.
I do feel like I'm playing catch up.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, some people that get it too early lose it a lot quicker because, they don't know how to stabilise it. It's maybe not a bad thing getting it all when you're a bit older and wiser, because you can learn how to budget it.
You know what? You that's right, that in a sense as well. I can't argue with that, because apparently on the statistics, I was reading this book, and people that start a business on the better end of 30, so your 32s, 33s, they have a higher success rate of keeping their business rather than the people that start it at a younger age.
Yeah.
I read
because
that.
They get greedy and sloppy, man. Like, if you think about it, imagine you being 18 years old and I loan you £1 billion. I know the first thing you're going to buy with that £1 billion is probably a Ferrari and a big old mansion. You're gonna go straight down to Louis Vuitton, and you're gonna nail 15-20 grand on clothes, and then by the time the excitement's left your body and you go down and look at the computer, you're gonna be like, whoa, shit, I spent 600 fucking grand today, or 200 million pounds. Whereas now, if you got lumbered £1 billion in your bank, you'd probably just buy a decent sized house. You'd fuck the Ferrari off and just get a brand new reliable car. And just probably go straight onto the M&M Direct and just freshen up your wardrobe a little bit, and then think about where you can invest this money into. How can I turn it into a bigger profit, rather than blow a lot of it first.
I feel like a lot of kids. I feel like even though when we was growing up, we did it a bit more quicker than the parents before, and I feel like as generations come, because you can find a 21-year-old now who doesn't do no dodgy illegal activities, but's got an S3 outside.
Oh, hell
right?
Yeah.
Got his mortgage plan. So I do think, like, it is if you was a mature younger person, then that has a lot to do with it on everyone. But I just think that as time gets on, like I look at it now, like my sons get to 18, the world's gonna be mad because look where it's going now. I was saying, I think I said it to you, didn't I, Marcus? But like back in the day when you was PT and you looked at them people that train people. Well, first and foremost, most PTs were bodybuilders because that's where they was. And still is now, to be fair. A lot of people in the industry use if they're not using a bodybuilding training scheme, they're definitely using the bodybuilding way of eating to a certain degree. Do you know what I mean? Definitely for the weight loss, 100% for the weight loss, I believe. Most people are. Because the deficits are, don't get me wrong, you need a deficit to lose weight, but the deficits are tremendously massive chunks of deficit what they're making people do. And that is a sort of a bodybuilding sort of style. So, yeah. But I go to work now with my iPad. All my workouts, what once we all used to write on pieces of paper, and now I've transferred them. They're on my iPad in a folder.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if they're on an iPod now, in a folder now on me now, 20 years from now, if Devontae wants to be a PT, just saying that he probably won't want to be, but let's just say he does, what is he going to have? Because by theory, an iPad will be old news. It's like online. Like, really, I'm behind. Most people that start PTing now, when they leave college or whatever, they get their physique really shit hot, and then they go online. Online service, I'll send you the workouts. Really, PTing people in the gym, literally being there PTing them, is a dying out fashion in my industry. But then you've got AI, which I believe is going to absolutely smash that online market to pieces, personally. Because I can speak to a 16-year-old kid now. That 16-year-old kid, he'll learn the tweaks of, like, all right, when you lift your barbell curl up, roll your fingers towards your shoulder. Do you know what I mean? And them little, you've got little tweaks when you're doing an exercise you can do. You know what I mean? Bare peas, instead of keeping your legs out, put them together or whatever. Or put a jump on it. There's them little tweaks that the computer still doesn't know yet. But most generic online coaches are giving you a generic online workout, and you can ask AI for that exact same workout for £12 a month, and AI will give you that workout. I had looked into AI properly, like I had never used it, but I am curious to see, because I know a lot of young kids are using that now, just even for their coursework. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the world's going to be mad, I believe. To be honest with you, I believe now, just like when we were younger and you had to learn how to write and spell right, and if you didn't, it was a bit laughed at. I believe now, if you're not computer literate as a young kid, you've got a very hard chance of becoming anything, because everything's on that computer, mate.
Yeah, it is.
Everything is on a laptop and a computer.
Which is going to probably doom a lot of people as well. Like, if you look at manufacturers that build things now, everything's machine operated. So, if, say, 200 years from now, you're probably going to struggle to get a job if you don't know how to operate a machine.
There's going to be 8 billion people.
Anymore, is it? It's all going to be computer online.
No, yeah.
Yeah, 8 billion people unemployed.
Yeah.
No, you know why? Because there will be employment work, because it'll be, that computer does the work, but we need you to program it.
Yeah, everyone will be a computer programmer.
Yeah, we need you to clean out it. We need you to make sure it's running straight. We need you to tell the computer what to do. And that is where the world's going to end up. Out, like, a little silly one. So when I started work, I went and got I always had an iPhone, but I went and got a Samsung iPad. Yeah. And I went and got a HP laptop. Now, this is how silly this is. I never knew that you could merge your calendar from your Gmail calendar to your Apple calendar. but you can merge them. So it wasn't until I got an Apple laptop that I realized you could actually merge them both together. So now they're all of one. But it is easier for me to have an Apple of everything, because when I did my coursework and I wanted to send in some videos to my for my coursework, you know, evidence of what I've done via this fitness thing, I couldn't put my iPhone in with the HP and send it all over. Even as an email, the folder was too compact and too big. So I had to send it my missus, who's got a Samsung Android, and she then had to send it. So soon it will be like, what make you've got goes with what make you've got. So if you've got an Apple phone, don't bother go get a HP laptop. You better go get an Apple laptop.
Yeah.
And an Apple, and do you know what I mean? And it's,
with an
that's
iPhone,
what it'll be. Yeah, that's what it'll be soon.
Another iPhone, a message, it'll tell you when they read it and what time they read it. Whereas if you send a Samsung a message off an iPhone, it won't tell you if they've opened it or not.
No, or even the AirDrop or FaceTime, or if you haven't got WhatsApp and you've got two different phones, you can't FaceTime. But me and you got iPhone to iPhone with FaceTime. Do you know what I mean? So just soon it's gonna be. Well, it already is now. Already now, realistically, you need a laptop. You need a laptop for everything. Yeah. Look, we're doing a video now. You're in Carlisle. You get what I mean? You're down in Sheffield. Yeah. But we're here though on the show.
I've just thought though, one person that will have the job will be Greeny.
Well, you never know.
Go on.
He's a landscape gardener, isn't he? Building houses.
There might be robots that come and take my job, mate. You never know.
Maybe.
You never know. There might be robots that come and take my job.
But I guess like physical,
not so. Yeah.
Like manual, like plumbing, because of the intricacy of plumbing, like putting that nut on there and getting that thing right.
Yeah. There'll be certain jobs that
I think we might need to learn a trade, Dessie. I think we need to learn a trade. We're fucked.
I'm hoping that Kong Academy just does very well, because kids. I'm just hoping that that interaction with the kids and getting them to be able to do it and perform it in this academy like they do. I hope that's my get out call. So if worst case scenario, PT slows down, as long as the academy does what it's meant to do, I should be all right. I don't know what my sons are going to do.
Get them on a computer courses, man.
One of them better be a coder.
Both of them. I think that's like hard work. Thinking about coding is hard work to me, but these kids are learning to code in school. It's no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard work.
Like, it's nothing for them. They're all coders. They're all on the dark web. I've never been on the dark web. I don't know how to even get on it. These kids know how to get on the dark web and that.
This is the maddest thing. I don't, and it's funny you should say that, because it's the truth. How do you get onto the dark web? Because you can't be able to just type in dark web and then just go there.
I ain't got a clue.
You need about 5 people that are already on it, and you need a recommendation of all of them. So you can't just like sign up to it and start transporting drugs and guns to your house, because you could be a copper. So obviously you need to find 4 or 5 people that's already on it. Give them your email address. They'll send you a recommendation. You get accepted that way. Not speaking that I know, just that's through word of mouth.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've never even thought about how you get on it. Do you know what I mean? Because the news just says on the dark web, bloody blah, this that, and I've never thought, how would you get? Like, I just know that I've never been on it.
I know that the dark web for the whole, you pay through the whole cryptocurrency, don't you?
I ain't got a clue.
I think so, yeah. And
the whole cryptocurrency, people are saying that soon banks will be obsolete, and if you ain't got your money in crypto, then you're not. But I don't know if that's a crypto. I don't know if that's
just some gossip going around to make people buy up crypto.
I think crypto's going down now. So is Bitcoin. Well, I know that Bitcoin's going through the roof as well at the minute, but it's crypto's gone down, Bitcoin's gone up, but it won't be long before Bitcoin's not worth nothing. So if you haven't already sold your shares or whatever, then it's going to be gone. But to be fair, reality of it is, money's not going to be plastic or anything for much longer. I reckon give it time, it'll just be credit points in your account, and you won't be able to put your hands on money, cash, generally. I reckon they'll just do away with that.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
probably will do.
Well-
I mean,
Because look now, they've even got them little machines. I went and bought a pizza. There was a store like a gala my son performed in, and the person had a card, and obviously it's a store, but he just whacked out his little like
card
key
reader
card
thing.
and
Yeah.
card read, and that's the way it's going, isn't it?
But I think you're right there, Greeny, about the like credit score, like personal score, not a credit score, like because they do it in China now. They do I think it's called like a social score, and if you are a bad person, like you commit crime or you chat bad about the regime or the government or whatever should I say, then you get less social points on your personal self. So if it goes so low, you can't get a job, you can't do this, you can't, and no one will hire you because you are like tied to your score. If you do get a job, and you obviously when you get a job, you have to send in your details, don't you? Like who you are, whatever, where I live, and this and that. So you have to do something to put this score into for who you are. It'll be part of who you like, how you register for a job. And if they hire you, then that whole company has got a social score, so they'll get docked. Do you know what I mean? Because the social score is almost like currency. Do you know what I mean?
Mad.
So like you can't do certain things, and that's how they're keeping their society like I know there's crime there, but I don't think it's as crime filled as the West, like over here. But then again, Saudi don't do that, and I've heard that Saudi's got like basically zero crime. If you didn't know,
it's a big religionally run company. I mean, country Saudi, isn't it?
there's quite a few. Well, they're all religiously run over there, but like you go to the other places and it's peak. You go to Pakistan or somewhere like. There's crime, bro. Do you know what I mean? India crime.
like even Andrew Tate said, like he's a kickboxing champion. He went to Jamaica, and like you're not allowed to leave the holiday residence. Like you're there for the 14 days. And he was like, I got bored of it. I told him I want to go in a taxi and go do something. And they were like, oh, you can't. You go over them walls. We're not responsible for you.
Yeah. You get robbed or killed, yeah.
Yeah, and he got into a taxi, left. And the taxi driver was part of a cartel mob gang, took him to a gangster's house party. And he said, I had no fun. It was my back to the wall the whole night. Everyone was carrying guns. He was like, he says, don't go to fucking Jamaica if you're not from there and you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
He says,
even when you're from there, man.
Yeah.
Even when you're from there, it's peak, isn't it?
Yeah. You literally stick to that hotel holiday resort or just don't go at all.
It's
Right, fellas, I'm thinking of calling it a day. What do you think?
love, man.
Not a problem.
Yeah, I've enjoyed
Let
it.
me know when you've chopped it up, what good stuff you've got from it, man.
Yeah, I will do. I'm going to make some shorts and it's too bad I can't. Like, this would have been good. Like, I think I can download a flipping screen recorder. And this would have just been the thing. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah. Next time. And I'm hoping that the flipping iPhone's dealt with it, or it's not a waste of time, so at least we've caught up, do you know what I mean, for like over an hour. But like you're saying, because I've got a flipping, I don't even know what that laptop is, Lenovo and the iPhone, when I was working off this phone, my Samsung, I could send it to the laptop, send it back, everything's fine. Trying to send stuff from the flipping, sometimes from the iPhone doesn't register, and I definitely can't send stuff back from the laptop to the iPhone. The thing's mad, because it wants to be compatible with itself.
Yeah.
You know what?
Probably gonna have to,
honestly,
man.
Just get honestly, you won't regret it. You won't regret it.
Yeah.
I had a HP. I've got an Apple. I don't really go. I'm not massively. I'm trying to do more because I'm trying to go into investing and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do more. But I just went and got an oldish Apple to get me back into the Apple game because it's a little bit different from the others. But like I said, now you've got a problem and you can't use it. You just go on Google, it'll show you exactly how to do it. So my next thing to do is get an Apple iPad. And then once that Apple iPad's got, then I'll be just, everything will just run from one company.
Yeah, well, the good thing with Apple is you've got like the Apple Cloud memory thing. So every time I get a new contract phone, which is always iPhone, I don't have to like spend 2-3 hours downloading all the shit from this phone to my new phone.
No,
you've got like an Apple iCloud. You just sign into it, it downloads to your phone automatically. But it's a lot easier. It is a lot easier.
Yeah.
And also like my I can take a picture now, delete the picture off my phone, so it frees up my memory on my phone, but it stays on my laptop.
Yeah, it stays in the cloud. And when you get your new phone, you can even get that picture back.
Yeah, back up. So, yeah, hit the Apple thing, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a pleasure like always.
Yes.
DQHQ.
Hey, hello.
In a bit, bye.
You know what I mean?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Stop the cap.
Oh, that's the wrong one. I got it. Can you hear that?
There we go.
All right, then, brother. Yeah.
All right, my brother.
All right, bless.
Later.
Yes.
Bless.
And that's it. The EKQ Lifestyle Podcast.